All right. Can you give me the host back? Because I can't record until you.
All right. Can you make me co-host?
I'll make you co-host right away. All right. After a little technical difficulties, we are ready to go. And it's good to see Donita, Bryan, and Donita on the show. Hey, Bryan and Donita. We'll be talking to you in a second, but if you need the background for the show, it's in the chat. So it'll show just up like we've got here. So, all right. Hey, it's time to go. It's time for the Milo, ONPASSIVE Milo show. Here we are. You guys ready? ONPASSIVE Milo show is here today. You don't want to miss a single word he says. Bringing you founders from near and far. Listen as they tell you now just who they are. Listen to the stories and how they tell. In just 30 minutes how they're doing well. Telling us what it's all about today. And how they are loving that ONPASSIVE way. ONPASSIVE. It's here today on Passive. There's just no better way. Listen to the ONPASSIVE Milo show. So then you can be the very first to know ONPASSIVE. It's here today. ONPASSIVE show is coming your way. Saturday on Passive. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you all for being here. A little rough on the vocals this morning, or this afternoon. I've had a little bit of laryngitis, but man, I've been gone for, this is the second week. We wasn't there last week. We're excited about what we're going to bring to you this morning or this afternoon. So let me start off by saying it's not just me. Remember, it's everybody that's on the screen. This is everybody that's on the screen is a founder. If you're a founder, I guarantee you that you're gonna win. And it's so exciting what we've got going on, and we've got a great show coming up today. You're gonna hear an amazing story. So first off, let me bring to the stage Mr. John Barilla. He watches our back end, make sure that everything stays clean back there. John?
Hi. Hello, everybody. Yes, I think we're going to have a great show today, and I wasn't even aware of exactly what the theme was or who was here today until just a little while ago, but this looks great. Can't wait to see what's going to be on, and I just want to say hello to everybody, and that's really all I have to say for the moment. I'm excited. I love where we're at right now and where we're going and what's happening, so I'm just going to sit here and do my thing and look at the chat and enjoy the show.
Awesome. Good to have you on, John. Thanks for all you do and everyone that helps with you. Next, we got Mr. William Deloney. He come on early today and helped us. William, come on down and say something to us, brother. Hello, William. Did he get kicked off? All right. He might have got kicked off. You never know. All right. Next up, we got none other than Miss Jeannie. I'm not even going to say the last name. Jeannie, come down and talk to me, man.
William is here. Let's hear from William first. Okay. William.
Yes. Hi, Milo.
Hey, William.
I was in the kitchen. So I was a little. I'll put my camera on. Oh. There I am.
You are. There's the star of the show. All right, brother. So good. Thanks for helping out this. Say a couple words to us.
I just want to say it's more than exciting. That's for sure. So like you say, I'm in the process of rehabilitating, getting my strength back. So a few apples would help me out. So it's very expensive what I'm doing, so I can only do so much. So I'm looking forward to activating. That's my main goal. And I'm helping out the church. I'm activating the church. So it's going to be, O-Connect is going to be really, really something else.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great thing that we've got coming up. Miss Jeannie, come on down and talk to us, girl.
Thank you, Milo. And now, how is my sound? Lynn, is it
Sounds
better?
great. It sounds awesome.
Sounds
Is
good.
it-
Sounds
oh,
good.
thank you.
You've
Thank you so
always
much, Lynn, for
sounded
letting me
real
know.
good.
Wow, I am so excited to hear what Bryan and Donita, is it Bryan and Donita Melton have
Yeah.
to say today. Every time Milo brings somebody on, it's an amazing story, an inspiration to all of us, and gives us so many ideas for what we're going to be supporting going forward. I could not be more excited. I think all of us are just going 24/7 since Thursday's meeting. I think it really got cemented into, that's not the right word. It became part of the fiber of our being. And now we just, like, we used to joke about not being able to sleep. And now we really can't, because there's no time. We're just meetings, and just enjoying one another's company and dancing and music and all of this great energy is coming into all of these live events. It's not about business anymore. And I'm so excited to be here and hear our guests' story. And thank you so much, Milo, for bringing me on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeannie. And it is good. You know, it's all about, it used to be about money, but it's no longer about that. It's about helping humanity, because we know that we're already blessed beyond whatever we can, abundantly blessed. You know, there's no way that you'll be able to need all the apples that you get. So anyway, none other than the energized bunny herself, who's every place, Miss Lynn Nakamoto, who is the co-host. Come on down and talk to me.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. You know, Milo always has a good show. So fasten your seatbelts and you're going to learn. And always my heartstrings get tugged when I come to this show. So enjoy the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. And remember, we're being live streamed around the world. So there's a lot of people that will be watching it, and we'll be watching it down the road. And it's just exciting, man. It is so exciting. And I talked to this couple and I just fell in love with them, man. Their heart, their passion. And I know that, Bryan, I appreciate you and Donita making it. I know that you're busy on a job site right now, and you got work that you got to be doing, and you're on your phone. So you know, you don't have the background or whatever, but listen, I'm ready to bring you on. This is my friends, Bryan and Donita. They got an amazing story. Come on down, Bryan, and let's talk. Give me about 20 minutes worth of stuff.
How y'all doing? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Can y'all hear
Sounds
me?
good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you sound good. You sound good.
Good. Hey, good. Well, my name's Bryan, of course, and this is my wife, Donita. My life, my world. This is my best friend. Wouldn't do this without her. Period. This is my babe. Of course, I think y'all have heard a little bit of my story, but I've done 16 years in prison. I've been out probably right at 3 months. But since that time, for 10 years in prison, I've done praise and worship. I was an inmate pastor. I was a mentor for a bunch of men here. Matter of fact, just 30 minutes ago, I got off the phone with a guy that I mentored in there, and he's doing real well, started his own business, and he's doing awesome. And my heart and passion is for not only just inmates, but for anybody that's in need, that's been down to the gutty. In order for somebody to ascend, and we know what the word ascend means, to go up, you have to descend sometime. And I thank God that he set me down instead of laying me down. I should be dead years ago, but I'm not. And I'm here to tell this story that through faith and hope and God, me and my wife are together today, and I made it through the most violent time of my life. I've been stabbed. I've been hit in the head with locks. I've been a lot of different stories, but the main story is God has blessed me through it. And I'm sitting here before y'all today and let y'all know that, hey, hope is still alive. Hope is everybody's dream. And I own my own business. And I was just telling Milo today, I'm entirely blessed, highly blessed. I'm sitting here right now with 2 customers right now that's waiting on me to do this interview, right? And I'm doing outside their home and all that, but we get to we get to talk to them. They know a little bit about me, and I want to be able to help inmates in prison to get socks and underwear and different things like that, hygiene. These guys don't have nothing in there. But the main thing I want to help them with is to share hope of all of y'all. I see all these faces on this phone right here. Every one of them are beautiful. Every one of them is got something they can give, not only about money, but you got a heart, and that's what matters. America now, we need more heart in America. We need more love for one another. All this bigotry and all this racism and all this, it's stupid. It's dumb. We need to come together as one, because all of us bleed red. And I just want us to come together and help people. That's all I'm about, is love and helping people. Because I've been through some rough spots in my life, and if it hadn't been for some good-hearted people, I wouldn't be where I'm at and who I am today. Bottom line. So, yeah, this anybody?
Donita?
I just want to reiterate that I have a heart for those that depression and oppression is real. Sometimes you just need a kind word, a little bit of an encouragement, a gentle touch, a smile, just someone to know that they care, that they want to be there for you, that they can help you, that no matter how far down you may seem that you are, you can always look up things. There's always a better day. And there's someone out there that can be an encouragement and be a light and be a help to someone. The women that has someone that's behind the fence, whether it's their husband, their son, their friend, their brother, their daughter, they need some encouragement along the way, and they need some help along the way to just know that someone's still there for them, and that someone can help them in different aspects of life. And what better way than to get that out there than to share with the ONPASSIVE, as Milo has shared with us, that's a good way to get it out there, that there's hope and there's help. And it's not just one person working, that there's a community and a world that's helping and wanting to help people, not just one person.
Absolutely. Bryan, you brought up a good point, and one thing that ONPASSIVE is trying to do is break all those barriers that, that really are, they're not needed, racism, religious things, whatever. If we can break those all down, and like you said, we all bleed red, man. And if we can just learn to love each other, and that's what ONPASSIVE's about. So you're planning, what you're planning on doing is taking not only to the ministry, to the jails and stuff like that, and blessing those people.
Right.
But you're also actually traveling around, actually kind of finding people on the street that are destitute or whatever that need something.
Absolutely.
And so there's no better project, I think, than this, Bryan, where it will
That's
bring
exactly
that.
right.
Yeah. So
you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed of how many people I run across in a day's time. But you'll be more amazed, and I know every face I see on this phone right now. Y'all run across somebody that's in need or in lieu of, and what better way than us together to reach out and help somebody? It ain't always financial. Like I keep stressing that. Sometimes it's just emotional. Sometimes it's just somebody sit down and say, "Hey, man, you all right? Hey, girl, you're beautiful. Don't worry about it." People are hurting across America, across the world. It ain't just in America, it's in other countries. They're hurting. And mostly, and what I run across is nobody wants to listen to nobody no more. Everybody knows you run across more people that know everything they need to know. They don't need to know nothing else than you'll ever run across. Sometimes people just want to be listened to. Somebody just want to sit down and talk and say, hey, and what better way than ONPASSIVE? Sit down and talk about it. Listen to one another. Really listen, not just hear it, but listen to it, take heart to it, take heed to it, and reach out and us grab hands, hold hands with each other across America, across the world, and help one another. And that is an awesome thing. ONPASSIVE is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. So Bryan, tell us a little bit more about what it was like being in prison. I know you went back in 2016, and give us a little bit about that, just so we know the backstory.
All right. The prison is a dark place. It's even though I put it this way: if you stay around somebody negative long enough, you become negative. Will you agree with that? If you
Yeah.
stay around something so long, you become that. You succumb that. If you're not mentally strong enough and emotionally strong enough, sometimes we succumb our environment. Well, in prison, it's all daunting. It's all dark. And let's just face it, the worst of the worst are put behind fences. They are deemed not fit for society. That's why they are there. I was deemed not fit for society. For 16 years, I stayed in that prison for a crime I didn't commit. And we're fighting that now. And me and my wife, we've got a lawyer. We're fighting that. We're going to try to rectify that. And that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother avenue we're going. But God done that for a reason. I'm there for a reason. When I got in that place, I seen how not only the inmates treat each other, but the officers as well. And we won't get into that. But the point is it's a dark place. It's violent, but there's light at the end of the tunnel in that place. What you do find is most of those men and women in that place are down to nothing. So when you're down to nothing, you got to have something. So when you find somebody that's down to nothing, guess what? It's not hard to bring them up. I don't know how many of y'all on this right now we're talking to that's ever been down to absolutely nothing. Do your last dollar, your last everything. You know how it feels when there's nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. Well, that's how prison is. And in prison, it's even worse than that because you're 6 foot away from each other, 24 hours a day. And if you have a problem with somebody, you can't go to your house, lock your door, get away from them. You have to sleep beside them every night. And so you have to learn how to deal with those situations in a close environment. But the beautiful thing I've seen out of everything is, and this is what prison has taught me, is you don't run from your problems. You can face your problems head on. And most of the time, the worst enemy you had becomes your best friend you ever had. I don't know if you ever noticed that. So I've learned that. So I don't run from my problem no more. I face them head on, and I speak my mind, and I'm open-minded and I'm open-hearted to anybody. I don't judge. I don't stand in judgment to nobody, regardless if you're rich, regardless if you're poor, if you're a drug addict or anything like that. I am open-minded and I'm open-hearted. Now, of course, I'm not naive as well. And so that goes a long way. I'm kind of street savvy, because I come from the streets. But thank God, I'm now learning what the financial side of business is. My wife is helping me. She's got a business degree. She's helping me on that, learning how to supplement finances through business. We pay ourselves each week in our own business. We don't take the money and run with it. We invest in ourselves, but we also invest on passive. That's why we're here. But the prison side of everything, prison is a dark place that need us to bring in the light. And that's where I want. Because I'm going to tell you something, when you get stuck in a place like that, a letter from somebody, a pair of socks, a pair of underwear, or just a phone call, or just saying, hey, we're thinking about you, man, it will make their day a million times better. See, we get all the beautiful thing is right now we can get up and go to our refrigerator and get everything we want at any time we want. They're not like that. They're told what to eat, when to eat, where to eat, and how to eat, and what to eat with in there 24 hours a day. They're told what to wear, when to wear it, when to get up, when to lay down. So we have the pleasantries of things that we take for granted that we don't understand the freedom of putting on whatever pair of shoes you want today. Well, in prison, they tell you what to wear. All right. So just a light of, hey, ONPASSIVE is thinking about y'all guys. ONPASSIVE, these people are talking about you guys. Do you know you'll put a smile on a prisoner's face for weeks and months at a time for that one act of kindness? That's how dark that place is. So that's what I want to do is reach out to people like that. But it's not, listen, prison, you can be in prison right out here. I don't know if y'all know that or not. You can be locked up inside yourself, inside of a relationship, inside of people you love dying. You can lock up in depression, oppression, all this out here. You don't have to be behind a fence to be in prison. There's dark places in people's homes that we can reach this well. So that's what I'm looking for, is to help people emotionally, financially, if I can. I don't have a problem with that as well. And just, I like putting a smile on people's face. Nothing does me better than to have somebody laugh. That's why I do stupid things. Sometimes I joke around. I accidentally trip just to make you laugh. I don't care. I don't take life seriously. I take it seriously when it's time to take it serious. I take life as it comes, because life is too short to be too serious to understand. And hey, let's smile and have a good time. We're all friends and we're all brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I love the part, that you're going to be able to, with on passive, change these guys' lives, because you can pour
Exactly.
into them and we can do things for them. And I know myself, I'm going to support this very much. I'm going to buy some positions under you to help support this, to fund it, to get
Amen.
whatever
Yes.
they need, or however, but I can see this going not just with you, but other people joining in that maybe have, their friends or
Just even books to read, Milo, even books to read in there. If you send them a book, if we can get them a book, you would not believe they don't even have books in there, man. I'm telling you, I just done 16 years. This ain't a book I just read. You're getting it straight out of the horse's mouth that just done it, walked it for 16 years. They don't even have books in there, hardly ever. And when they do have the books, it's so out of date. It's pathetic. You done seen the movie 45,000 times before the book hits the prison system. So education, educate themselves in there. They can, I mean, that's
Brian,
it's so much we can do. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Brian, let me ask you this. Do they have access to phones or computers in there?
That actually, they just come out last year, guys, with tablets in prison. Most of the prisons now have tablets, so they can. If we can also get this on passive and talk to Securus, that's what the tablets are. The company has it, and maybe we can get on passive on the Securus tablets in prison. And guess what? We can get prisoners on the show, and they can tell you what we have been doing for them and what we had. You see what I'm saying? That's something else we could look into. But yes, they have tablets in there. Which now, don't get me wrong, it's like having a phone for your child. What they do, they screen everything. It's all PG movies on it. They're all PG songs. They don't let them listen to no, rough stuff. They screen everything. But you get to email your family members, and you have to be on a list. Now, of course, if you had a guy that was in there had a victim, let's just say you had a victim in a crime, well, of course, they're not going to let him email that. So they screen the email. So you have to send in a form to say, hey, I'm so-and-so. This is my friend, inmate so-and-so. And they'll screen you and say if you're a victim or not. But anyway, they can see they have all kind of stuff now in prison. They're trying to open it up for the prisoners to learn how to, because some of those guys, listen, guys, some of those guys have been in there 50 years. Do you understand there wasn't a cell phone when they walked in? They have never seen a cell phone. So they don't know how this works. So they're trying to educate the prisoners, but what more way than us to come together to help them? Because let's just face it,
Right,
most of the
Brian.
Department of Corrections and yeah.
So Brian,
Yes, sir.
I know you're brand new to this. You just joined on passive
Yes.
like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Okay, now there's a whole lot to this that I think, listening to you talk, I want to talk about a couple things. If they have tablets, and we can get O Academy in there. O Academy is basically a learning system. We also have universities that can be put on there.
See?
So
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so they can learn all of that. But the main thing is, it's able to, someone might have made a mistake, or maybe they didn't make the mistake, but got put in there. But if they made a mistake, hey, everyone deserves a second chance, but they need to prove themselves. So more or less like you did, you come out of it, you're a very productive person. And the same thing can happen to all of these. I believe that we should be able, if we give them the right information, that people will start making better choices. They will start doing things better, And I'm excited about that, just listening to you talk. So I believe that O Academy would be a great thing where they can go in, they can learn to play the guitar, they can do all kinds of things, whatever they want to learn to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's at a low, I mean, it can start as low as you want to, you don't have an education. Okay, it teaches you to read and write and all of that. O Academy will do that. I think this is a great thing. And especially, maybe you will be the kingpin that will be able to bring that into that system, where, can you imagine if ONPASSIVE was brought into there? It could make them very productive also,
Wow.
And it's just so many things that they could do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm with you on that. You would be amazed how many people in there. I've met some of the best people I've ever met in prison. And I know it's hard to believe that now. I'm telling you, some good men and women. Now, I met some women that's in prison that's really good people. Just had a bad go at it. You know, grew up in a house that all they seen was alcoholism and drug addict, and they took the same road. But they're willing to educate themselves, but had no avenue to educate themselves. I know a guy right now that's done 28 years. He walked in when he's 18. He's never, ever had sex with a woman. He don't know what it is. And on top of that, he don't know how to read. He would love to learn to educate himself. What better way than me to bring in some education for them and see this man, when he walks out of prison in another 5 years, be productive on the other side. And you can say you could be a part of that. And you can see him have his own house, his own business, his wife. And finally, he has a child. And he can tell you all about how ONPASSIVE, if it wouldn't been for y'all or Bryan, it doesn't even matter. My name don't have to be mentioned. I want to help somebody. And I can see if like I said, you're seeing a product of a man that's walked out of prison. I own my own home, my own land. I'm sitting in a brand new truck with a trailer, and it's all because somebody helped me, all gave me that hope and that opportunity. That's the thing. One opportunity. And like you said, Milo, they have to prove themselves. You give me the opportunity, it's up to me to blow it or go it. So you have to give a man an opportunity. He's either going to blow it or go it. That's just the way it is.
Absolutely, Bryan. I'm sure that you've met a lot of people in the prison. You've seen families. I'm assuming I've never, to tell you the truth, I've only been in a prison once or twice in my life. But I know my brother was very involved with a group called Kairos or something. And I mean, that was basically
Kairos is very big.
life. Yeah, he went in and he talked to prisoners. He loved them. And I mean, I could feel the love for coming from him, you know, the passion and stuff. And I know that there's people that do that. Donita, I believe you were also involved in that, correct?
Yes, I was involved with Kairos Outside, which is the for the ladies. It's a support group for the ladies and the women who have someone behind the fence, or they themselves have been behind the fence, but they're connected to the prison system also.
Okay, and so how cool is this that now we can maybe start a group that is all of these prisoners' families getting together and talking about things, you know. You realize with O-Network, we can build clubs. So you build a club, you're only going to get in. Maybe you want only prisoners. Well, you could get only prisoners if they're able to talk, you know, in that group, a support group, basically. And it's, you know, it's got to be good. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're going to get out of the group and you won't get back in. And same way with it, if it's wives that have people in there, or kids that have their dads in there. Imagine having a support group that uses AI, that it goes out and it finds other people just like you and puts them into your sales funnel, you know, or whatever, so that you can come and you can be part of that group. And it just makes a better society. I can see, you know, that we have so many things, you know, things that maybe we could do with maybe, you know, doing a jail. And I know Leon Holiday, one of the projects we got is small houses and how to make yourself productive. What if all of a sudden, instead of, you know, the people were allowed to go out, the good ones at first, to start being released into the thing, they go out there, have their own little home, they can produce all the food and stuff for all the jail inmates and stuff. They learn to work, they learn what it's about. No one, I don't think, wants a handout. They want to be productive, but they have to have that opportunity. And I think sometimes, you know, you might not get that. But I believe that's what we're looking for. You agree with that, Bryan?
100%. 100%. Hey, I hate to run, but I got two customers here. I love y'all, and I'd hate to run. I love y'all with all my heart. But
Okay, I'll tell you what.
They were nice enough for me to do this. And
well,
listen, just get with me. And whatever I need to do, whatever I need to be, wherever I need to be, y'all let me know. And I love every one of y'all. I'm looking at all the different faces, and look, I love y'all.
Okay, Brian, we're
And I
gonna
know
go ahead.
you don't know me, but trust me, I love you.
Hey, Brian, just so you know, we'll put this all, people are gonna respond to you on this
Okay.
video. We're gonna talk about it right now. I know you're
Please.
busy and you've
Please.
got to go. So go take care of what you got to
Gotta
do.
go.
You come back and watch the replay and watch what people say. All right?
But we will.
Thank you so
Y'all be
much.
good.
for
God
giving us
bless.
your time.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. We'll see you later, Bryan and Donita. Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.
All right. There you have it, Bryan and Donita's story. What an amazing story. So let's talk about how we can help funding that. So Jeannie, I'm going to talk back and forth with you and Lynn, okay? So what I think we can do, I like the project. How about you guys? How about you, Jeannie?
Well,
Sherry has her
it
hand.
was,
Just so you know, Milo, I know you don't see the hands.
Do what?
Sherry Green has her hand raised, just so you know.
Okay, great. We'll get to her in just a minute. Sorry, Sherry.
Has her hand raised.
We can go to Sherry now. You want to go
yeah,
to Sherry?
sure,
now?
sure,
Let's
absolutely.
go to Sherry. Sherry, come on down and talk to us, girl.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Milo. Sorry, I wasn't trying to butt in or anything, but
No, I had it on the other panel, so it's my fault.
okay. Okay, sorry, I haven't had chance to change anything. Again, I'm at work. I love the topic. It's near and dear to my heart. I'm going to be bold right now. And I have a brother who spent many, many, many years in prison. And so this project is something that I absolutely connect with. And I have some really good ideas that I'd love to share at some point. My brother was I'm just going to say this. He was a victim of the corruption of the prison system at a young age, when he was a young boy. And he ended up spending many years in prison. I mean, he made some choices, but he was there for a long time. And he ended up, what got him, I guess, clean and out of prison was he had an opportunity to work with a prison mate who was a stonemason. And they repointed the whole prison that my brother was in, and it took them 5 years. And so he got a trade. And so he had been out of prison a couple of times. And after he got his trade, he became a productive citizen. And I believe that hope and faith in that is what, kind of got him on the straight and narrow. There's people that are men and women that are in prison that, made some poor choices, but sometimes those poor choices are a result of trauma, childhood trauma. And so, Bryan, when you listen to this, I just want to say, wow, I'm behind you on this. It really is something that I think is an amazing thing, because there's a lot of people that are hurting, that are in prison, that don't need to be there. And so using Academy, I love it, Milo, and I loved hearing you say that, putting positions under Bryan. So count me in. Thank you for letting me step in. I thought, you're looking for hands. So anyways, and I'm going to give this recording to my brother, because I have been telling him as of late, said, your life is going to change because of this business. And he's the only family member that believes me. He's the only one that supports me in what I'm doing. And so I'm going to help him to have a better life than he did when he was in prison. So anyways, thank you guys. I love you. Say it every time. And, in a short time, we're all going to be together and, physically. So thank you so much. Thank you, Milo.
Thank you for choking me all up.
Yeah.
Man, we don't know what people go through sometimes. We just don't know. And you don't know the full story. You don't know what happened. And like you said, everybody deserves a chance for a second chance. Now, I mean, if there's someone in there and they're still bad, hey, whatever. But there's a lot of people that are not. And I do believe that education is a big part of that. I do believe that if, like this, your brother, he was able to become a stonemason, or he learned a business. He was not looking for a handout. He learned a business. Now he's probably a very productive citizen, but he's going to be much more productive because he knows what he went through and he has a heart for that. I do believe that that's what ONPASSIVE is all about. It's about our heart and it's about our passion. And I believe that not all of us are going to be necessary. We might be passionate about it, but we don't want to go do it. That's not us. We got to do something that we like. But there's people like Bryan and other people like your brother who will take this message and, man, we'll go with it. We'll run with it. And when that happens, or if we get in with Kairos, or we get in with some of these other places, there's all kind of people that do jail ministries, and they go try to help. Even Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard. That's how Merle Haggard got to sing, because Johnny Cash went into the prison and he would sing, and Merle Haggard said, "Man, I want to do that," and he started singing, and that's how he got out of prison, actually. But look how successful he was. Look how productive he was in the society. So I believe that that's what ONPASSIVE is about. It can change anybody's world. Some people just need a chance. Sherry, thank you so much for coming on.
Milo, I spent many holidays in that with my parents, driving to prison to visit my brother. And so the stuff that Bryan was talking about, that little tiny, that little visit, that little hello, that would take him to the next time that we could drive, because it was like a 3.5, 4 hour drive, and it would take him, it would give him hope until the next visit, and so being able to go in and spend time, with people we don't know. I didn't hear everything Bryan was saying because I'm doing the work thing, but
Yeah.
we as ONPASSIVE, we have the heart to help on so many levels. With or without money, we can help, because people
Absolutely.
just need, sorry, I need to bring Kleenex when I come to this show.
No, that's awesome. Everything you're saying is awesome. And I've known families and stuff that tell me the same thing, man. If I could just write them a letter, sometimes they wouldn't even, you can only get so many letters or whatever. I think it's laxing up a little bit, but if you could send them an email, if they get in a tablet now, wow, that's a great thing. And I think, imagine being blocked up someplace where you can't see nothing hardly. You see your four walls and that's it. Merle wrote about it a lot, and Johnny Cash wrote about it a lot, about these four walls, and how dark and dreary it is. So that we will be able to make a change in someone's life. But like I said, they can become productive citizens now. If you take Leon Holiday's project, and you go with that, well, all of a sudden, they could be creating their own food. They could create their own housing allowance. They could maybe put a factory in there, teach them to do trades. Now we got Academy in there. They can sit and they can learn all kinds of trades or do whatever they want to. They're not looking for a
Time's
handout.
up, Milo.
My time's up.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh, you heard my beeper go off, but it is true. There's not a lot of hands up, so I'm taking a little bit longer here, but I also want to bring up one point. I would like to say to you that there was a guy, and I'm probably going to choke up a little bit, Noah and Clara. They come through Nashville one day, said, "We'd like to stop and see you." I had a show going on, but the guy hadn't returned my phone call, so I canceled the show and I went and met him. Best thing I ever did in my life. they told me about, I had no idea who these people were. Come to find out, I believe they come in like July of 2018. And such a beautiful story, and what a beautiful couple. If you've never watched their video, go to not ONPASSIVE Milo, it would be on the Julie and Milo show, and go to the interviewers, the interview people, and watch Noah and Clara, because they're incredible. And he talks about, not to the extent that he talked to me personally, but he talks on the show about, how he was putting up a building, and when ONPASSIVE come on, he was going to feed people all over, and he would go to the jail every day, and he was very involved with that. I mean, he grabbed my heart. It really did. That, and they're not young. I don't want to call them old, but they're probably, I don't know, they're older than me, and I'm old. All right. So, but anyway, he had a vision, and now I think, and I look at it, and that's when I seen Bryan, I said, oh my God, I got to get you on the show. So I pushed to get him on the show. Bryan does not know a lot about ONPASSIVE, just because he just come in. He is very busy, productive in his life. Like he said, he's got a good job. I mean, he's got a really good job. He travels around and fixes homes and stuff, and they depend on him. And he's there, him and his wife are working all the time, but they're great people, good hearts. I love their passion about it. So I know personally I'm going to be supporting that project, even though I might not be going into prisons, because that's really not my thing. But I can support someone that does, because I have passion, I have heart for that. It's just you can't do everything. That is the cool thing about ONPASSIVE. We can bring all these projects together, and someone else spearheads them. Like Dave Rozelski. When he said ocean reclamation, I started talking to him. Be honest with you, I was not sure about it. Was that something I was going to like? Oh my God, I love it. I love what he said. I loved how he broke it down, and I'm going to be supporting it. Same way with Amy Radecki, when she come on with the blue tarp, and I just seen something the other day about, down in Florida, how the blue tarps are out and stuff. And I said, man, as soon as we get this going, baby, we're going to be down there. We're going to be a force, So it's all about blessing other people. You will be blessed. That's a given, but you're going to be able to bless someone else. All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Milo. I love you, man.
Hey, Sherry, thank you. You added a lot to the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Listen, I only see 3 hands up, so we can talk a little bit longer if you want to. But Mr. John Barilla, come on down. John, are you there? You're muted, brother. There you are. All right.
Are you yelling? Are you talking to me, Milo?
Yes, John, come on down and talk to us, brother.
I was doing a little work and looking at YouTube for a few seconds to make sure everything was okay. But I heard you calling me. I did want to speak. I don't usually speak in the middle of these. I usually, do my thank you at the end or something. But this is something that it really does touch me, in the sense that many years ago, I was what was called a recreation rehabilitation therapist in Bellevue Hospital here in New York City. And one of my duties was to bring recreation rehabilitation, whatever that means, to prisoners in the prison ward of Bellevue Hospital. So when we were hearing earlier from Bryan about that these folks don't have much, little things to do for them, and there are good people in prison. He made this point, and I can really attest to this because it's been a long time since I did this. I'm an actor and I'm not involved in that. I was actually like I said, a recreation rehabilitation therapist at Bellevue Hospital for about 3.5 years. And I found that I could help these guys just simply by when I would go to the ward, the little things that they found pleasure and enjoyment, like we said, like Bryan said, books or magazines, or of course, this is way before cell phones and tablets, so I couldn't do anything about that. But for example, when I would bring just some coffee and some cake as a regular thing I would do every day, these guys, it was like gold. It was like I was doing the greatest thing in the world, because they don't have much. They don't get much. And this is just a hospital prison ward, but I'm sure that it's the same and worse in regular prison. And I just wanted to come on and say, listen, I have had experience with people like this personally, and worked with them for 3 years or more. And I just want to say that, yes, there are people that deserve to be in prison, but there are good people in prison who deserve a second chance, and they certainly deserve to be helped and be given things to make their lives even more comfortable while they are serving their time. Because after all, like Bryan, when he wasn't even, like he had said, not even guilty, and he had to spend his time in prison. But even people who are guilty of their crime, they deserve, when they get out of prison, to be helped and to be appreciated and to be welcomed back into our society. And I just wanted to come on and say that, because this does touch my heart, and it's very interesting for me to hear all this today. That's all I have. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, John. And how about when they're, let's just talk about this just a minute. What about when they're in prison, helping them? Remember, if we give them ONPASSIVE to work on, they can go through Academy, they can, and they'll be well set by the time, if someone gives them a position or whatever, all of a sudden they're going to be well set by the time they're ready to go out. They're going to be productive. They'll have a home, and like I said, maybe it's something that we could follow in with Leon Holiday's thing, where you get the small home, or whatever, and even if you want to go into IT, what about Tina Go's thing, she's offering, or she wants to build a IT school. That's one of our projects. What about Wayne Dockery, who wants to create a foundation for scholarships? Could that be used? Absolutely, so that when they come out, or even if they're in there, we bring the trades to them, or they get the schooling that they need. It takes away a lot of problems, not only for them, but for the people, in the establishment that's trying to get them. It makes better people, I believe. All right. Thank you, John.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, great. All right. Then next up, we got none other than Miss Jeannie Aliva.
I'm so
right?
Aliva, yes. I don't even remember what I was going to say now, beyond because everybody that shares Sherry and John, that was just so moving to me, so real, and what I want to say to Bryan and Donita is your clarity, like, they're so clear. When you have a mission that clear, it cannot not be achieved. And when you talk about giving that one little spark of kindness, that one little action that could reach inside a heart that's been completely closed off, can be so life transforming. And it's not just prisoners that's one of the hardest crowd, because they have everything working against them, but also those people that have closed themselves off with loneliness, with rejection from the family, with any kind of abuse or any trauma, anything that might have even just a squelching of their creativity over time. And I can relate to that, where you just become smaller and smaller and smaller until you're this sort of, tiny little version of yourself. And if someone comes into your life and says hello, or you look nice today, or what are you doing there, and gives them that attention, it just is like they're reborn. And if we can have a part in that, if people all across the world in prisons of their own making, or by decisions that they made in dark places in the prison system, that we can be able to help them. And of course, not just money, but with money, we will have the means to give them wonderful like care packages and all of the means for academy and all of the tools of ONPASSIVE. And their their lives will be completely transformed. And some will, of course, make the decision to stay in that dark place if the trauma was so intense, right? But there will be so many more. And I feel the majority of people that are in prisons now will not be going forward, because they probably got into prison because of financial stress. Any kind of other stress is born of that financial stress in society. So the reasons for people going to prison will be over time eliminated, so we'll have less people in there. It's, can you see the ripple effect of ONPASSIVE? So I just love the gentleness of this project. I absolutely want to support it. And John, your story of the recreational aspect, just the pleasure of small things, and I had loved books, so I really want to support that aspect of it, the arts and crafts aspect, music, all of it. So I'm sorry I'm taking too long to talk, but I just love this. So
Great.
Bryan and Donita, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
Milo, thank you so much. I'm sorry.
Hey, thank you, Jenny. And imagine how it's gonna, like you said, the ripple effect. Just think about the people that are in prison now. Like you said, it could have been because they were financially destitute. They didn't have anything to eat. They didn't have some, and I mean, there's some of it that's drug, but what if we can wipe some of that stuff out? Because remember, ONPASSIVE is going to be the correction to the corruption, and when you start getting rid of the bad guys, then all of a sudden, all these good guys that have been affected by them, it goes away, right? When they can have a job, when they can have something to do, I think it's going to make all the difference in the world. And how nice would it be that our prison system shrunk down to almost nothing? Who would like that? Me? Yeah.
And I just want to add one thing, is that people generally sell drugs because they need the money. So if they don't have to worry about the money, they don't have to sell the drugs that then hurt the people and get them addicted. It goes on and on and on. So with this grassroots effort, it's just going to be a beautiful thing to be able to do.
I believe just like you do, Jeannie. Thank you so much for sharing what you did. That was wonderful. All right, let's move on to the next one. Miss Miriam Weinberg, come on down, girl.
Hi, I have a few things. I used to go to a church that I had moved, so I don't go there now, but they have a prison ministry, and we write letters, we visit. They have they send Bibles to the different prisons, and they don't just go to prisons. This is in Illinois. They don't just send Bibles here, because the person that heads it up is a person that was on the most wanted list in Arizona. God got a hold of him. He got saved, and his life got turned upside down. All right. So now he's well known. His name's Bryan, and he goes throughout the United States to different prisons and gives talks. He goes to court with people when he's asked. So what goes on is, when the prisoners come out, they need help. Okay. They need help with rides. They need help with a place to stay. They need help with a job. Okay. They need help with getting a social security card, with getting all these pieces of information. And that's the things they do. So they have connections to do this. The thing is, they're also responsible for doing their part. And if they don't do their part, then they're out of the program, which is good because it's a two-way street. They can't do everything for that person that just got out. But there's just tons of things that they do. And one of the things I was thinking of is the O Academy. Since the O Academy is a subscription, how would we get that in the prison? It would almost be to where the prison would have to buy the program so the prisoners could use it while in there. What do you think?
I believe that like this guy you're talking about, or Bryan, someone with that could bring that into the prison system, you know, and there'll be plenty of funding for it. You know, we can fund it through you know, each prisoner. So let's say that there's a prisoner in there and they say, man, this guy's a good guy, and they find him and say, we really like to support him. Well, guess what? They will have the funds, because remember, when we put this prison thing, when we put this website together and everything, everyone that is underneath that, now, even though you buy the position, you don't have to give that position to them. You just put the position in and it just makes you money, right? Or apples, apples, apples. Now, the big one on the top is getting all that money. Well, they can fund prisoners themselves. You know, they know a prisoner's good or a person's good. Boom, they bring him into the system. Now, what does that do? That actually funds more funds for the prison, right? That funds more for the prisoners. So it will grow over time. You remember the story I tell a lot about if I gave you a choice for $1 million, or I gave you a choice for 2 cents a day and you doubled it every day, which would you take? You know,
Right.
You would take the month, because if there's 30 days in the month, that's over $5 million. If there's 31 days in the month, there's $10 million, right? So this is the way this will work. Do you understand that? So you will have a website with all the projects. So there'll be a project. And if you support that project, you buy something underneath it. It's not necessarily that you're giving your finances to them. You're actually buying a
No, I
position.
know that. I'm thinking about Academy, and the easiest way I was thinking that a prison system can have Academy is to let the prison system buy the Academy and the Connect, or let them do that, and then they can like be in school and learn what they want to learn through that and through Connect.
Actually, you know what? I just thought of something that would be a great thing. What if the prison did exactly what you said? They come in, they bought into ONPASSIVE. Now, what they do is they put each person that's a prisoner in under ONPASSIVE. They buy them a spot, okay? But they don't get it until they get out. Can you imagine what kind of thing that would, when these prisoners could see that the apples building up, how they could see the apples building up? Do you think they would want to do something wrong to harm that? Because it goes away if they do. But otherwise, when they get out, they get it. What do you think of that?
Well, how are you going to know if they did something bad with it?
Well, you control it. You don't give it to them till they get out. So they have to stay clean that whole time in prison. If they do something bad, well, it goes away. You know, it'd be sent to another prisoner or something. But it would also fund everything, you know, because when you put those in, that funds everything else. That also funds the, that would fund their living, that would fund their everything, their food, everything. You know,
and that would help the states. So the taxpayers are not paying for that. That would help taxpayers.
You're exactly right. There would be no need for taxpayers to pay anything because it's all being generated, you know.
Boom.
Yeah, it's big stuff, right? I never
Yeah.
even great point to bring up there, Miriam. Sometimes when people bring up things like that, it gets our minds rolling, you know, and expanding a little bit. But I think that's a great point.
Thank you.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
That was good stuff. That was really good stuff. Okay, next up we got Miss Yvonne Monday. Come on down, girl. She was on our show. She talked about you know, everything she was wanting to do. Come on down, Yvonne, and talk to us.
Okay, not very in good shape because I'm not feeling well, but I'm going to speak off camera, please. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, I am so grateful for these exciting times and ONPASSIVE. And I'm grateful for the Milo show because I've been on here twice for the great work, Mr. Milo, that you're doing, you know, to help, to listen, and to show us the way. You know, we all have different prisons. I was in my own prison for a long time, beginning from childhood until adulthood. The prison of lack of love, prison of rejection, prison of wanting education that I was refused, prison of thinking that I am not enough, that I will never amount to anything. And we all have been there of different kind. But the good news is we have been given second chances, and these second chances are coming right here through ONPASSIVE and through beautiful hearts like you guys out here. I am so passionate about this because of my background, and I am really grateful. And education has been something that freed me from my own prison, and I am so passionate about education. And whether we are innocent or we are guilty, the truth of the matter is we all have done something wrong of one kind or the other, but we all can come together to forgive one another and also forgive ourselves, because we struggle with a lot of things that are inside of us. But thank God that we are here together to invest in one another, to talk to one another, to rely on one another as a family, ONPASSIVE family, which I have never seen in my life. And I am just so passionate about this because I am ready to do whatever it takes to support any program that comes my way. You know, I am an author. I have written 4 books, published them. And it is divine for education to educate, because when people are not educated, they are innocent. They don't know what to do. They can get into difficulties without knowing. But through education, we can begin to educate, whether they're inmates or outmates or whatever. Through education, we can really begin to make lives for other people better. I am grateful to Mr. Mofare, to ONPASSIVE, and through all academy, through all blessed, through all the wonderful products that have been created, we can do better. I am going to support Melton's program, and I'm going to be signing a position under him, because we can do this little by little. There is no mountain that we cannot climb. We can do it together. And I love you all so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Yvonne. Imagine we can get those books into the hands of people, you know, to read, inspirational, if they allow that. You know, if not, we can put them on an ebook or something where hopefully it can get in there on their notebooks. And same way with you know, you putting your stuff on Academy. Imagine, you know, the people just learning. I mean, when you think about it, there's so much potential. It's hard to sleep at night.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing there, Yvonne. All right. And next up, we've got Mr. Bruce Gerstein. He was here. Bruce, are you there? Oh, are we losing people getting kicked off?
Yeah, I think he either left or he's He's not.
Yeah, he must have. I bet he got kicked off. Same way with Amy Radecki was there.
Oh, he
Amy,
is asking to come in. I can bring him in.
okay. Yeah, I think he probably got booted or something.
I did.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here. I just got booted off for a minute. I had a call
Yeah,
come in.
good old Zoom, right? Hey,
Yeah,
Bruce, come on
Zoom.
down and talk to us, Bruce. You
Thank
always
you.
got good stuff to say.
Thank you, Milo. Yvonne, thank you for saying what you did. Reminded me of a very dear teacher I had. He was a meditator, and he had something called the Prasad Projects, and he went into the prisons, and he told the prisoners, some of them were, murderers. He said, your prison is not these walls and not these bars, but your prison is in your mind. And if you meditate on yourself and realize that God dwells in you, you will find freedom. And he found, there were many people I had, like people who were on death row who I heard speak, who were the gentlest souls I ever met. So we're talking about transformation of people. Unfortunately, when I got on, my phone overheated and I didn't hear Bryan and Donita speak. But I have a lot of friends that have been in prison. I've been in jail myself. And one thing is that it used to be called the penal system. Now they call it correctional institutions. But the mindset still is of punitiveness rather than helping prisoners. Most people in prison are controlled by the staff there that many times is brutal to them. Now, I'm only saying that because the reality, you have to look at the reality of everything. And I think we used to send books to people. You could only send paperbacks because if you took hardbacks, they could get drugs by hardcover books. But most of the people in prison are there as a result of drugs. I don't know if many people know that. And so what we have to do a lot of times is go and give them messages of hope, give them messages of freedom, give them messages that there is another way other than the way of going back and forth into prison. Because many people go into prison, they get so used to being in prison, it's a security for them. They set themselves up to go back in. So when I'm saying this, because there's a lot that has to be done in terms of uplifting the hope in people's minds before they get out. And when I hear people speak about this stuff, all I can think about is people I know who have to, when you go into prison to speak to somebody, you get screened. You didn't say, I'd like to talk to somebody, because some Muslim people from Christianity or whatever, you get screened by the system itself. And it's very, very tight, very tight. I'm sure that Milo knows about that too. It's very tight. And the thing is, see, where do you have to get to make the change? The change will come from the individual inside and outside, so long as they work on themselves. But the change also has to come from the institution. So when you talk about academy, it's very important to have people that have integrity to talk to people from the system to show them there's a way to help rehabilitate people instead of keeping them in the system. Because this is about, just like we got out of the system of MLM, we want people to get out of the system of prison. And the way to do that is to get to the authorities and get them to say, it's a good idea to give them an academy. It's a good idea to give people a chance rather than have them keep coming back here. It's a good idea to be kind here to people. It's a good idea to have people become knowledgeable, productive members of society, like Sherry was talking about. That happens when you give people a chance. And the way that'll happen is when, like Ash talks about academy, now we have university. That happens because they talk to the people who are in that authoritative position in administrations of universities, colleges. And so the same thing must happen in terms of this wonderful decision that Bryan and Donita want to do to help people. They have to get the involvement of and cooperation of the correctional system. And in the process of this, guess what? Because the correctional system hurts for money as much as everybody else. And guess what will happen when you introduce them to academy? Not only will they bring the prisoners out, and the prisoners will be able to learn and decide what they want to do in their lives and get that freedom. They can also tell other correctional institutions about our academy. And that ball that Jeannie talked about, that little pebble in the water, will expand and expand and expand. What we have to do is open their minds to that. I wrote in the chat, I said, there are many rivers that unpassable cross, but unpassable cross any river, because where there is a will and unpassive, there is a way. So thank you.
Right. Thank you, Bruce. Great stuff, man. And it is true, that pebble, I see this going viral across the systems. Once it starts working, man, everyone's going to do it. Let's talk. Let me just say something about, we talk about ONPASSIVE is the correction to the corruption, right? What about, do you realize that I think, now this is just me, I don't know if it's true, but I think we will be the correction to the corruption. Imagine there's someone making a drug deal and it going down. Guess what? ONPASSIVE can know that, through the data on the phones. Or what if you have a prisoner? Do you want to know if he stays clean? Hey, you've got that. You've got all that stuff there for you. And I don't mean to micromanage anyone's life or anything like that. But imagine if it's a troublemaker, if it's someone getting in trouble, guess what? I do believe that we will have the system in place to do that. Hey, look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more hands, and we have about 30 minutes left to go. So let's plan on 5 minutes, no longer than 5 minutes each from this point forward, and I'll probably break it down to 3 and then 2 and then 1 or whatever, depending how this goes. So next up, let's see, who do we got? Miss Amy Radecki, I believe, was up. Come on, I know you got kicked out there. There you was on the board, so come on down and talk to us, girl.
Hello, thanks for the opportunity. I'm sorry I don't have the right background today. I couldn't get in to my founders, but I'm not stressing.
Okay.
I'm not stressing.
There you go. It's okay.
I'm excited about everything that Ash is doing in the background. But anyways, I just wanted to say I appreciate Bryan's story, and I definitely will be on board with however I can help. Milo, you'll keep me plugged in with Bryan. So when I was a kid, the church would go to the jail, and so we would sing in the jail. So I'm open to helping in any way that I can. So I just wanted to say that, and thanks for your show.
All right. Thank you, Amy. It's good to see y'all talking. It's good to see you today. All right, and next up, we got none other than Miss California, Sherry Dursaway. Come on down, Sherry, and talk to us.
Hello, everybody. I'm fired up. Anyway, to bring it back down to the theme for the day, I actually have had a friend who worked at the jails, for one, and two, just recently, one of the founders, his son was in the jail for over, I think, 10 years. And in fact, he showed up at our live event, so that was a blessing. But yeah, he was wrongfully, there's a lot of people in there who are, weren't in there for the right reason. And I believe that ONPASSIVE definitely is the correction to corruption, is going to help so many ways. Like so many people, it does start with how you were brought up, or kids nowadays, both parents had to work and had to, kind of taken away from the old-fashioned ways of how things used to be. Not that I'm old fashioned or anything, but I do believe there needs to be somebody in charge other than the kids running around wild. Um, and as far as back to the mental thing, which is another break, you need to be break free, as the gentleman was saying, not just the jails, but as your mental as well as bringing up. You have to retrain your brain. You have to, I've been through a lot of things, and I know a lot of people have been through a lot of things. You just have to have one faith, God, if you believe in God or whatever you believe in, and then knowing that there is somebody out there who just says, hey, how are you? You are important. That could just be the main one help to help that. So even the person that's in behind bars, even though they've been bad, got into a lot of things, they are important as well. They have some talents. They just need to bring it back around, change their mind, thought, have a lot of them, like you said, are on drugs or have mental health or whatever it is. We need to start from that, the mental health. All boils down to mental health. If you've been beat up, slashed up, whatever it is, somebody always has brought somebody down one time or another, whether it started in grade school on up. It just needs to be brought back down to we are all humans, we're all different, we're all important in this world. And I can't wait for ONPASSIVE is going to change and make this such a big shift, starting from that and starting to let know people are important and they can use all of our digital products, and each one of them will help them in one way or another. I don't care which digital platform you use, it's going to help them in one way or another. That's all I have. Know that it starts with the mindset. Know that you are important. I love you guys all the pieces. Whether you've been behind bars or you're not in bars or you go to the bar, I still love you. You are important. You all have talents. Love you guys.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much. I love that. I love what you said, man. It brings it all home, and it is true, so I loved what you said. All right, next up, we got Mr. Alex. So Jim from Bangladesh. Alex from Bangladesh. Come on down, brother.
Hello, all founders. We are so happy. I'm so excited. ONPASSIVE give our founders Milo show. Milo show is my favorite, and I am waiting for when it start Milo show webinar. And thank you so much, Ashmufaro sir. You are really wonderful person. You creating ONPASSIVE company, and you creating ONPASSIVE family. Thank you, Ashmufaro sir. Thank you so much. I love ONPASSIVE, and thank you all sir and ma'am sharing. Thank you. And I think Zoom company is very bad because Zoom company knows connect coming very soon, and Facebook company is very sad because ONET is coming very soon. Two fire product is coming. So enjoy this process. Love you all founders. Thank you. We are so in it to win it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Alex, what did you think about what Bryan and Donita had to say today? Are you there, Alex?
Yes, sir. Please.
The special guest that spoke. What do you think?
I think
you didn't see that.
I think a Facebook company is very sad because ONET coming.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you so much for your words, man. All right. Let's move on, and we'll go to Mr. Mark Olson. Mark, you're the one that's always posting about driving all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, I just got pulled into where am I? I've been driving all day long, to tell you the truth. Pulled into Kingman, Arizona.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I missed the first part of this, but every time I get stopped, I find out what webinar is going on, and I get in on it. So glad to hear what's going on. I mean, this is a really important thing. You know, I've been sober for 29 years, and ONPASSIVE, everything that's going on with ONPASSIVE really mirrors what spiritual principles we put out with Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, and one of the things that we do service-wise is go into the prisons to carry the message, to help I mean, like everyone else has said, most of the people that are in prison are drug or alcohol related offenses. You know, so we've gone in there, but when COVID hit, they stopped letting people go into the prisons. You know, so there's, of course, Zoom got really popular, and a lot of people, even just in the community, AA community around the world, went on to Zoom. So, you know, this is definitely something with O Connect and with Academy and the things that the programs that Ash has put into place. We will definitely be able to take into the prisons and give them hope, you know, and that's what we've done. I've been doing it for 29 years. You know, I started going into county jails and such when I had a year of sobriety. And, you know, this just going to enhance our ability to carry that message of hope, you know, and give them the ability to come out and know that there's help out there. You know, that's something that me and Kevin's talked about. There's a hospital that got shut down in Bloomington, and we've talked about once Oh Bless gets going, once we get going, is buying this hospital and turning it into a place for homeless people and for people coming out of prison, and turning it into a halfway house, 3/4 house type thing, so that they can generate back into society. So yeah, I'm as passionate about this as I am about my sobriety. So good to be on here, Milo. I'm glad I was able to get on one of the webinars.
Absolutely. Good to have you today, Mark. I don't know if I've ever seen you on our show or had you talk on our show. I know you're around, but have you ever been on?
Nope, I've never been on one. I'm in my truck right now, as you can tell. That's why I don't have a background. I'm on my phone. I was talking to Kevin last night because I was on the webinar, and I can't figure out how to get the background on here through my phone. So something I have to work on.
I had a hard time getting it too, and I couldn't tell you I could repeat it now, you know, but
he was explaining it to me how to do it on the laptop, and I'm like, well, there isn't all those buttons on a phone, so
yeah, the laptop's easy. Yeah. Well, good. Thank you for coming to the show, Mark. Thank you for spending some of your time with us today. We really appreciate you. I appreciate all you do for ONPASSIVE. I see you post all the time. I forget. I think it's not one of the groups or whatever. But I watch your travels and everything. Appreciate you being on the show and stepping up and speaking up, brother. Come on back and see us again. All right.
Oh, I definitely will.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Next up, we have none other than Mr. Hey, Sajib. Come on down, brother.
Hey, young and energetic Milo. I'm audible, brother?
Doing good.
Yes. Okay, my elder brother is Chris Johnson. And first of all, I thanks to Mr. Ash, he's a lovely CEO, no doubt. And he's our brother, our friend. And really, last update is very fantastic. It was very fantastic. It's the O Media is a lovely creation. It's the Dr. Soa and Juha, Muhammad Kamal, all are fantastic. She have a lot of experience, 25 years experience is Dr. Soa. So, on passive, I acknowledge to you, really, I heart say, it's a highly beauty right now in the world on passive. It's a just for happiness. I think it's a lot of source you self just happiness on passive, because on passive is a right now is a big family right now in the world. Najmali Milo, here is Jenny, Alvi, John Barella, Neil Nikamoto. Yes, of course, our on passive wife, Benny, and also everyone, Jerry, Siddiq, Gana, all are fantastic, fantastic man, and we are a great family. I'm just saying yes, just fire, 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 and last of all, I am just share my dream. Once upon a time, and one day, inshallah, I will create as like Milo show. Hey, hey, Shajib Moni show. Because Milo show is a very special for me because it's a fantastic show. It's a crazy show. Yes, and I always think that Milo is a true lover of on passive, and he is a young and energetic on passive. So I have just heads up to all, and really lovely CEO Mr. Ash. He's a dynamic. He's a fantastic, and he's a smart. He's always saying, "I am your friend. Hey, this is my name is Ash. I am your friend." So this is the fantastic dialogue, and one of the dialogue in the world right now. And when just published on passive, all our record is break. We are just break or any kind of sector. We are break our record. And inshallah, we are just break our Guinness book. So I believe and I proud my company, and this is the last beauty of internet company. Yes, pure IT solution and one umbrella. You have a service, lot of service in here. Just internet service, just one umbrella. We have a lot of opportunity here, and we are proud. We have a office in Bangladesh, and it's a yes. We are just far, 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 and boom, boom. Thank you, Milo. And
All
thank
right,
you.
thank you. Hey, hey. All right. I see that Dave Rozowski, is he still here? Because I had seen his hand up earlier. I don't know if he got kicked off or is he here?
Yeah, no, I'm still here. Everybody covered what I was going to say, so I didn't figure I'd waste everybody's time saying it again.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, hey, we'd like to hear from you if you'd like to talk. But right now, so Dave, let's have you, after I say something, have you come on if you don't mind and just greet us or whatever. But we have 3 up, 4 counting Dave. So if you want to talk, please get your hand up in the next 2 minutes because we'll be probably shutting it down because it's 2:34. And that way I can adjust the time. So Dave, go ahead and talk to us, brother. I know you got something good to say. You always do.
Well, I was just thinking that, once the apples start flowing, there's going to be, everybody's going to be able to be making a living. It's going to take away, the need for a lot of the crime. We're going to wind up, I believe, with just crimes of habit or, illness of one sort or another. And those people we can start helping. And eventually, we start putting this together, everybody wants to do something. We all start working on our own little area, we're going to make a big difference. And I think, like the poverty thing is going to be a 1 to 5 year. For most of it, it'll be gone because we're all going to help. We're all going to fix. And then once that happens, we're all going to gang together and fix that. And I think we can do the same thing, with the prison thing. There's a lot of good people that are in there, just had a bad situation, right place, wrong time. Things happen. There's a lot of people in there that are doing, in there because they're surviving and they had to do it. They got to feed their kids, keep a roof over their family's head, things like that. And if we can start making a living, everybody start making a living through ONPASSIVE, that's going to eliminate all of that. And those people are just going to be able to go on with their lives, and then the education part, now that we got the tablets in there, that was cool. That's information I never knew. And I didn't know they had internet and stuff like that. If we can get OBLESS in there, people can start educating themselves and start feeling better about themselves. And then they can raise their own personal standards, and I was wondering, if we can start doing that, there's a lot, once you start wanting to fix yourself, you're going to need a good base of support to keep going. Otherwise, you're going to fall back into old habits. I was just wondering, maybe we could work with the prisons so that on these tablets, you can do it as an honor system or a reward system or something, so that they can go get that education. And then, once they show they're starting to help themselves, are they in fact getting the support so that they don't fall back into their old habits? Are they getting help to learn something and maybe, career training or a direction or something, and I think bringing God in and, letting those that are interested come in, I think that's going to help profoundly to a lot of people, because once I know what God came into my life a couple of years ago and my life is completely turned around. And I think that's going to happen for a lot of people too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs a lot of help, but I think together we can do it. It's not a one person thing, but if we get 1.4 million plus other people who see what we're doing, and then they're going to say, wow, I want to be part of that. And then you're going to have the people that are saying, oh, look at that. I want to be part of that too. And then you're going to have the other ones that are be like, well, I'm going to look like a jerk if I don't. So they're going to come in, and then we're going to get like the big businesses and say, oh, well, we want to increase our curb values. So they're going to help. So, I mean, whether it's righteous or just because it's going to look good help, we're still going to get that help, and we can transfer that down the line to the people who really need it.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. Thank you for those good words. It is true, man. And we've talked about the ripple effect. I believe it's gonna do that. So, all right, look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I know Bruce has already talked, so we'll just give Bruce a minute at the end. But so the rest of you, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 20 minutes. Give you 4 minutes, 4 minutes maximum. For the other ones. All right, let's go with Raymond Guyana. Come on down, brother.
Hello.
Hey, Raymond.
Yes, pleasant morning to you all, Milo, and all the rest of us. Greetings to you all from Papua New Guinea. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to also share with you all. I think this is the first Milo show I'm able to catch since it's so early here. But I'm so grateful that I was able to be part of this webinar this morning. Okay, I joined ONPASSIVE in June, and I'm just about 4 months. But what struck me was the fact that I was drawn to the vision of our CEO, our friend S, and that is to the vision to uplift humanity. So I believe uplifting humanity is all about second chance. It is about giving back to every human being the best possible kind of life they deserve as persons. So it is about giving back to the people that which makes them who they are as persons. And yeah, going back to what drew me to see the heart of ONPASSIVE is the ability to see the ability to see a brother or a sister from the face of a man or a woman. So it is about value and respect. I think this is the basis. So it does not matter if one is disabled, or it doesn't matter if one is a prisoner. It doesn't either take away her dignity or his dignity. So as persons, we all share the same dignity, and that which makes us who we are as people or as persons. And for ONPASSIVE, we are on a mission to uplift humanity, and that mission is to put a true face to the principle of the life and dignity of the human person. And again, it is about value and understanding. So blessing another person is truly valuing a person as someone with dignity. And I believe ONPASSIVE will change these rules by dealing with causes that may lead one to prison, by dealing with the issues of consent, innocence, and also to go about our visits if we initiate visits to prisons, and also with academy and Obless and other initiatives. I believe it will make a huge impact to those in prisons. Yeah, I think that is all from me. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, thank you. We're gonna looks like we're gonna have to put it back to 3 minutes. Next up is the poet himself, Mr. Curtis Davis. Come on down, brother. Hello, Kurt. Hello, Kurt. I know he wants to announce my YouTube channel. He wants to say, you know, everyone should join my YouTube channel so I can get ahead of him. So that YouTube
Yeah.
is otrim.
I hear you.
.ai /ONPASSIVE Milo. Please sign up and help me beat that guy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
ahead,
Yeah. You know, I got to thinking on here. We've got a brother that his heart and soul was in helping everyone that he could. And for him, it didn't matter what you had done. He always saw the best in everyone. He said, well, and I used to get on him sometimes. Why are you doing this? You know, that person is no good. And some of them turned out to be the best that you've ever seen. And, you know, I really enjoyed what they had to say today. And it was super amazing, everything. And the way that they brought it down. Here's a guy that's had been in there 16 years. And now he's out. He's doing things. But not only is he doing things to better himself, he's doing things to better everyone else. And, you know, it's just amazing. So you can count on me on that. And he is gaining on me on my YouTube channel. And I'll give him that, you know. He's gaining, but I'm still in the lead right now. So when you get done and everything is said and done, remember, little brother still got you and going on. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Yeah. I knew that was coming up. Kurt, I love you, brother. Kurt puts a lot every day. If you're not watching ONPASSIVE Daily, ONPASSIVE Inspiration, you're missing it. And I'm telling you, when this thing launches, every morning you could sit and be watching drinking your cup of coffee and listen to the ONPASSIVE Inspiration Show. And it's only 2 minutes and 38 seconds, but he will tell you where we are, how many founders we have in. That is the key thing. You know, how many founders we got in. Then he brings up something that happened that, you know, we're trying to take care of, and he'll bring up shows and stuff like that that maybe will jog your memory. So if you haven't watched them, watch them. Watch them. They're good. All right. Let's see. Next up, we've got Colin Mannon. Come on down, brother. Colin.
Thank you, Milo. Thank you for this show. Really, I'm really grateful and humbled to be here today. You know, we had another meeting and Lynn invited me. Lynn said, "Are you coming?" And I said, "Yes." So when I came, I was just like sitting quietly, listening to it. And I said, you know what? I have to add my voice because it really touches me in my heart. You know, prison is something, if we look at it, we have all been there in one way or the others. And when I listen, and I said, if you look at the number of people who are out of jail and in prison, they are all more than those who are already, they are more than those who are behind bars. Why do I say so? We all have issues. There is no way when you have issues, you're already in prison. Financial issues, that people cannot take care of their bills. You know, lot of things that push people to do terrible things. You know, and we look at it and we say, yeah, will ONPASSIVE solve this? Yes. There is always a cause and an effect. The effect is the aftermath when you've done something wrong and you find yourself behind bars. ONPASSIVE is here to address the cause first, to look at your issue and say, you know what, we can address it before you get to where you don't have to be. Through Academy, through O-Connect, you know, through the founders who already listened to Mr. Ash vision. Remember what Mr. Ash said last time. I am Ash Mofara, and I'm here to change your life. I was born to do this, you know, and I will fight up to the last breath to make sure I change humanity. And I believe this is something that has transpired to all the millions of founders. You know, all of us will do it in our own way. I will just give a short story because we talk about a lot about education. There are lots of people who have been in jail and out of jail, and they are well-educated people. Why? What happened? This is a short story. I will give it here. There was a day I came out, you know, I went to the supermarket to buy something, and I came out. I met this poor beggar. The guy was like sitting there begging for money. I went 2 meters. I said, no, my heart really hit me. I came back and I bought about £5 in his basket. When I walked away, the guy said, thank you very much. God bless you. Only that word hit me. And I said, I'm blessing you, and you are telling me God bless you. So I went back. I was walking, I was with a friend. I said, you know what? I want to talk to that man because it really touches me in my heart. I went back and I said, my name is Collins. I said, and what is your name? The guy told me. I went and we had a chat. I discovered that this guy was a top engineer. And I sat back and I said, my goodness, you are really someone we needed in the society, and you find yourself here. So what happened? He said, the guy told me his story and how he went to jail for 2 years. Now he's a beggar. He's just now, this person is already in a prison because he shut himself down and said, nobody really wants to speak to me. I'm not useful in the society anymore. You know, after a long chat with this guy started sharing tears. And I said, you know what? This country needs you. People like you, you are needed because we are short of people like you. And if you get yourself up, go to job center, you could pick a job. The guy said, nobody have ever speak to me this way. 15-minute chat, I came back and this guy wasn't there anymore. Sometimes these people, though they are there, they need someone to speak to. How many of us see them and even give our time to even listen to their own story? Never. We give them and we reject them. The mindset is, as founders, first, though they need this, but we must be able to listen to their own story so we can be able to direct them where it is most needed. Because remember, Oh Bless is not a hangout, as Mr. Ash Mufara said. It's about empowering, changing people's life for the better so they will be able to change others' life. That is what ONPASSIVE is all about. So I just want to share this and I just thank you very much. Let's do our part. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. That was a beautiful story, and you speak so well Thank you so much. Hey, listen, guys, we have run out of time, but I do want to give the last two guys 1 minute each that had their hands up. One of them was Anthony Bonarte, and then Bruce Feisting. So 1 minute you got. Anthony, come on down.
Okay. All right. Blessings, peace and blessings to all brothers and sisters of ONPASSIVE. I am so excited. I'm so excited for the leader that we have, Mr. Ash Mafari, because the virtue that he carries is unlike no other leader. Because, you know, we know all the leaders that it have presently right now, and what they say, sometimes they don't fulfill what they say. They don't ever keep their word. So that is one of the things inspire me about Mr. Ash. He just keep his word, and he just see through whatever he tells us he's gonna do, he just see it through. You understand? Plenty of the times people doesn't have the patience, but everything does take time for it to develop and for it to happen. So we had to have patience. One of the things I would like to tell people is that we support Mr. Ash. Let we stop doing stupidness that will cause problem, because that will stick up plenty of the time for the positive things where he trying to accomplish and for we to reach where we want to go, where everybody want to go. And all what he's doing is to benefit everyone, not even just the founders in ONPASSIVE, no, but even people who is not even founders. They were able to benefit from that. So I just want to say thank you and blessed love.
Thank you, Anthony. Hey, Bruce, come on down. Keep it as short as possible.
I will do that, Milo. Thank you,
All right.
Colin. You reminded me, I was in a meeting speaking one day, and one of the things you should know is that people in prison who come out have records, and most of them have a hard time getting jobs. So this man came up to me after the meeting and introduced himself. He said he was in prison for 3 years. He had been in recovery meetings in prison, and he had 3 years clean. And I said, it's simple to get jobs. He goes, yeah. I go, well, I have something, if you have a little bit of money, you can get into it. And I told him about ONPASSIVE. And he had a little job and a little bit of money, and now he's the founder. So when you think about people like the person you spoke to about Collins, the most important thing is offer them an opportunity. Offer them, always offer people ONPASSIVE. So when people get out of prison, anybody you might know who went to jail, help them out and lend them a hand and bring them in, even as a reseller. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. Okay. Hey, thank you all for coming to the ONPASSIVE Milo show. It was a great show, man. I loved it. I loved all the things that was brought up, all the speakers that had talked, but unfortunately it's time to go, and we don't want to drag this out or whatever. So let me bring John Barilla. Come on down and talk to me. Give me a minute.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, Collins and Bruce both made me think of a story, a situation with a couple of people in my neighborhood. I'm going to save it though, because I was going to say what it was, but I'll save that for another time because I need to thank some folks today. But remind me, maybe next time I'll tell you about two different gentlemen who I have encountered many times in my neighborhood who are struggling. Let's just put it that way. On the street. Anyway, I won't do that. I will say I'll do it another time. But I'm going to thank the folks that worked so hard today to keep this thing going right. MK Kaylee, Yen Yang 444. Let me see. Gina Leva, Bruce Gerstein, Miriam Weberg, Roy Davies, Rob Gorman, Dave Rosowski, Nancy Babcock, and Benny, Dr. Benny, and a new guardian, Dave Johnson, helping today. Thank you very much. That's all I got. I'm going to save those stories till next time.
All right. Thank you, John. Thank you very much. I'd love to hear the stories, but we'll get them next time. All right. Let's bring to the stage right now, Miss Jeannie Oliva. Come on down, girl.
Thank you, Milo. I'm just going to take a second to say that I think everybody that shared today made it crystal clear that Bryan and Donita's cause is an important one. It's going to be a pleasure bringing the beauty out of all these people who have been incarcerated in one way or another, and we get to be a part of that transformation, and I'm humbled to be a part of it. Milo, thank you so much for bringing them on.
All right, thank you, Jeannie. Thank you for those good words. And let's see, how about William DeLone? Come down and say just a few minutes. You helped out right at the beginning. Are you still here, William?
Yes, I'm still here, Milo.
All right. You got any last closing 1 minute?
No, I think like
you're good.
On passive is the correction to the corruption. So we should keep that in mind and work on everything that is not good in this world.
Absolutely. And we got a lot of that, that's for sure. But there's a brighter day coming, man. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And guess what? We don't need no one else to help us change it. We can do it on passive way. We don't need a government. We don't need, you know, all these other people to get involved and help us do things. Hey, let's just take it on ourselves. Let's stand up. Let's do it. We can do it by ourselves. Okay, next up, we've got Miss Lynn Nakamoto. Come on down, the Energized Bunny. Come on down. Tell us things that are coming up that you know of, and we will be closing the show after that.
To say that I think the show, the topic was really good, and it will inspire others. Think about all the people who will be watching the live and the recordings on the various channels, and I think some of them will be inspired to do maybe a prison ministry or a prison cause. I think there's going to be a lot of positive things that come out of this show. So thank you very much, Milo. As far as events coming up, today is Saturday. We have tomorrow, the one that I'm involved in is a Heroes webinar. It occurs at 1:30 p.m. every Sunday. This is where we feature Red Redford, who gives a company update. You know, he's great at his updates. And we have the OTech pros speak a bit. And then we have Andy Burks talk about the sales perspective. So that again is tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time.
All righty. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. And you know what? I've got a project coming up soon that I'm going to bust out on you guys about churches. Now, imagine, I never really thought about prison ministry. But what if we put prison ministry kind of underneath the churches also? You know, where each church could actually get involved in that prison ministry. That's going to build a prison ministry, you know, or prison, even if you don't want to call it prison ministry, just helping people in prison, you know, whatever it is, we will do that. So unfortunately, Armin, our time is up. So we're going to have to get going. So I'd like to say to all of you, thanks so much for being on the show. Every one of you talked. Armin, you got something to say? 1 minute? I'll give you 1 minute, Armin.
Thank you very much. Really brief. I spent 126 visits to federal prisons because my mother's best brother was an armed robbery in 1959 to 1970. I visited. I think all children going to school at a young age should be mandatory to go visit federal prisons. There used to be a show called Scared Straight, and believe me, my whole family says, Armin, you're going to wind up just like Uncle Jerry, who was with the Hells Angels. And because I went to 126 visits once a month for 10 and a half years, I am not in prison. My brother was a prison guard. We all turned out okay. And it's the thing that saved me, believe me. But that's all I have to say. Thanks very much.
Dude, that is an awesome 1 minute speech right there. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
True story.
No, hey, you good. You were under 1 minute, man. We kept it to that, and we've got to go. So thank every one of you for coming. Remember, if you was not here, there would not be an ONPASSIVE Milo show. Every one of you is important to me. You're important to ONPASSIVE. And remember, we're going to meet each other at the top. And if you see someone that's kind of lagging behind, reach back and pull them up, man. You know, we don't want to be on the top all by ourselves. Let's make sure we all do it together. And this is an incredible program. And thank you guys for all showing up on the show. I love every one of you. Thank you, Bryan and Donita. Sorry you're not here to give your last comments, but we'll get with you later. We loved what you said. You could tell by what was said, like Jeannie said, you know, you're going to get a lot of support because there's a lot of support, and there's a lot more support than what just seen it today. You know, maybe they seen it on YouTube. Maybe they're commenting on there on one of the YouTube channels, or maybe they'll see a replay of it. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, you're exactly right, Dave Olitsky. We do have jails for a reason, and people do have to pay for their crimes, and we do understand that. But in the same sense, we've all did something wrong before. But I do believe in paying for your crime. You know, if that's whatever it is that you need to do. But how about helping them help themselves to get back on their feet? That's all we're talking about today. So appreciate every one of you coming. And thanks a lot. I'll see you next week. This is the ONPASSIVE Milo show. So good night from Nashville.
Good night from Pennsylvania, USA.
Good
night from Chevy Chase, Maryland, USA.
Good night from Freeport, Louisiana.
All right.
Good night from Germany.
All right.
Good John Barilla. Bye.
Good night from North Carolina.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
California, Sacramento.
Good night, Alan G. Good night, John Barilla.
Good night from Brooklyn, New York.
Good night,
I love you all.
Good
See you
night,
again. See you tomorrow.
Colin Mann. Good night, Guyana.
Good night from Freeport, Louisiana.
Good night, Milo. Love you.
I think that's
Bye.
it.
Bye, Dr. Betty.
Good night.
Lynn.
Good night,
Bye, Angeline.
Everybody.
Good time.